Hello and welcome to Senior Wisdom Life, where every week we dive deep into the science and real-life strategies to help you live longer, feel better, and age with purpose. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever believed that all vegetables are good for you? That the more greens you pile on your plate, the longer you'll live? Well, what if I told you that some of the vegetables you eat every day may actually be speeding up your aging process, causing joint pain, memory decline, even silently affecting your heart and brain health? Shocking, I know, but stay with me, because this video might just change the way you see your dinner plate forever. You see, recent research shows that certain vegetables have the power to boost your circulation, sharpen your memory, and support your body's natural detox systems, even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s. But on the flip side, others, including some so-called superfoods, can disrupt your thyroid, spike your blood sugar, or trigger inflammation without you even realizing it. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, "Come on, doc, it's just vegetables." And to that, I'd say, yes, they're vegetables. But when you're over 60, how your body reacts to certain foods changes drastically. What helps you at 30 might harm you at 70, and vice versa. So in today's video, we're going to break down the one vegetable that could help extend your life by 10 years or more. The 5 worst vegetables for seniors and what to eat instead. Real stories, scientific proof, and tips you can apply today. But before we dig in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Senior Wisdom Life. Your support helps us create more thoughtful, research-backed content to empower your health journey. And now, get ready, because the first vegetable on our list not only improves memory and circulation, it also mimics the effect of a youthful brain without a single pill. Let's talk about arugula and why it deserves a permanent spot on your plate. Have you ever wondered why, as you get older, you start feeling lightheaded when standing up, notice cold hands and feet, or find your memory slipping just a bit more than it used to? These aren't just normal signs of aging. They're often signals that your circulation isn't what it once was. One of the key reasons behind this is a sharp decline in your body's ability to produce nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes blood vessels and helps maintain healthy blood flow. In fact, by age 70, nitric oxide production can drop by over 60%. That's where arugula, a peppery, slightly bitter leafy green, comes in as a surprisingly powerful ally for aging adults. Arugula is packed with natural nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide. According to a study from Wake Forest University, older adults who ate nitrate-rich vegetables like arugula 3 times a week had brain blood flow comparable to people 10 to 15 years younger. Better circulation means more oxygen to your brain, clearer thinking, and less risk of cognitive decline. Dr. Nathan Bryan, a leading nitric oxide researcher at the University of Texas, once said, "Aging is driven in part by declining blood flow. Supporting nitric oxide levels through diet can be one of the most effective, natural ways to fight it." I remember one of my patients, Mrs. Linda Carter, 71 years old, who used to complain of feeling foggy and forgetful. After making a few changes to her routine, one of which was adding arugula to her dinner salad 3 nights a week, she returned 2 months later with a smile on her face. "Doctor," she said, "I'm sleeping better, and I don't feel like I'm walking through a cloud anymore." It wasn't magic, it was nourishment. Beyond circulation, arugula is rich in glucosinolates, natural compounds that trigger your body's detox pathways, particularly in the liver. That's a game changer for people over 60, whose ability to clear toxins naturally slows down. Glucosinolates help your body eliminate cellular waste, which, if left to build up, can speed up the aging process and increase your risk of chronic illness. What's more, these bitter compounds can even boost the absorption of other nutrients in your meal. Now, I won't lie, arugula's peppery taste can be a bit much at first, but here's a tip. Mix it with softer greens like romaine or butter lettuce, squeeze a little lemon, and add a splash of olive oil. That balances the flavor and makes the nutrients more bioavailable. Let me ask you this, have you ever tried arugula? If you have, how did it make you feel? If not, what's holding you back? Leave a comment below and let us know your experience. As the father of medicine, Hippocrates once said, "Let food be thy medicine." Sometimes the simplest things, like a leafy green, can make the biggest difference. And if arugula helps your blood flow, wait until you see what the next vegetable can do for your skin, joints, and immune system. Coming up, the underrated anti-aging superpower hiding in red bell peppers. Stay with us. Let's talk about one of the most overlooked, yet powerful anti-aging vegetables sitting in your grocery store right now, red bell peppers. Most people walk past them without realizing they're holding a nutritional goldmine. Did you know that red bell peppers contain nearly 3 times more vitamin C than oranges? That's a big deal. especially after the age of 60, when your body's natural collagen production drops by about 1% every year. Less collagen means more wrinkles, joint stiffness, and even weaker blood vessels. Vitamin C is essential for making and maintaining collagen, the protein that keeps your skin firm, your joints flexible, and your blood vessels strong. And red bell peppers deliver it in abundance. But that's not all. These vibrant vegetables are loaded with carotenoids, particularly lutein, zeaxanthin, and beta-carotene, antioxidants that actively combat oxidative stress, one of the primary causes of brain aging. I'll never forget a conversation I had with one of my longtime patients, Mr. James Mitchell, a 68-year-old retired school principal. He came to me frustrated about how dull and dry his skin had become, along with increasing joint discomfort. We talked through his diet and noticed that while he was eating healthy, he was missing out on color, specifically red, orange, and yellow vegetables. I encouraged him to include red bell peppers in his lunch at least 4 times a week, either raw in salads or lightly sautéed. When he came back for a follow-up 6 weeks later, his first words were, "Doc, my knees don't creak like they used to, and even my barber asked what skin cream I'm using." The secret. Red bell peppers don't just work from the outside in, they nourish from the inside out. They also contain capsaicin, a powerful anti-inflammatory compound found in red peppers but not in green ones. Capsaicin has been shown in studies to reduce the chronic low-grade inflammation that underlies most age-related diseases, including heart disease, arthritis, and Alzheimer's. According to the National Institute on Aging, seniors with higher intake of carotenoid-rich vegetables, especially red bell peppers, retained stronger verbal memory as they aged. Here's a simple tip: don't overcook your red bell peppers. A quick sauté or steam is enough to soften them without destroying their vitamin C, and always slice them fresh. Cutting activates certain enzymes that actually improve nutrient availability. Let me ask you this. How often do you include red bell peppers in your meals? Are they a regular part of your grocery list, or have they been flying under your radar? If you've noticed changes in your skin or joints lately, try adding them to your plate for a few weeks and tell us what happens. Food is not just fuel, it's information. It talks to your DNA and tells it what to do. Dr. Mark Hyman, functional medicine pioneer. The truth is, every bite you take is either feeding disease or fighting it. And with red bell peppers, you're clearly giving your body something to fight with. Next, we're moving from color to color and from pepper to potato, but not just any potato. In the next section, we'll dive into a surprising vegetable that carries the same brain-boosting compounds as blueberries, but in a root form: purple sweet potatoes. Don't miss what makes them one of the smartest additions to your aging brain's diet. Now let's turn our attention to a root vegetable that often gets overshadowed by its orange cousin, but deserves a permanent place on every senior's plate: purple sweet potatoes. These vibrant gems don't just add color to your meal. They offer a powerhouse of brain and gut-supporting benefits that can literally slow down the aging process from the inside out. The magic lies in a group of antioxidants called anthocyanins, the same compounds that give blueberries their deep color. But here's the kicker. In some cases, the anthocyanins in purple sweet potatoes may actually be more bioavailable than those in berries, meaning your body can absorb and use them more efficiently. These antioxidants are known to cross the blood-brain barrier, where they help reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, 2 major drivers of memory loss and cognitive decline. There was a fascinating study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food that showed seniors who consumed purple sweet potatoes regularly experienced notable improvements in short-term memory, outperforming those who took anthocyanin from other sources. That's a big deal, especially when you consider how memory loss, even in small ways, can impact independence and quality of life in our later years. Let me share a quick story. One of my former patients, Mrs. Diane Clark, age 74, used to get easily overwhelmed and frustrated when trying to recall names, dates, or where she left her keys. She joked with me once, "I walk into a room and forget why I'm there. It's like my brain is playing hide and seek with me." We made a few dietary shifts, one of which was replacing her regular potatoes with purple sweet potatoes at dinner 3 to 4 times a week. After 2 months, she came back with a laugh saying, "Doctor, I still lose my keys, but now I can remember where I put them." But the brain isn't the only organ that benefits. Purple sweet potatoes are also a secret weapon for your gut health, which plays a surprisingly big role in how fast or slow we age. They contain resistant starch, a type of carbohydrate that acts as food for your good gut bacteria. These bacteria produce a substance called butyrate, which strengthens the intestinal lining and helps reduce something called leaky gut, a condition that becomes increasingly common after 60, and is linked to chronic inflammation, fatigue, joint pain, and even mood disorders. And here's another bonus. Despite being a starchy vegetable, purple sweet potatoes have a low glycemic index. Their rich purple pigments actually slow down how quickly sugars enter your bloodstream. That means more stable energy without the dreaded blood sugar crash, and more protection for your skin, joints, and brain over time. If you can't find purple sweet potatoes, don't worry, regular orange ones still offer fantastic benefits, just with a slightly different nutrient profile. And please don't peel them. The skin is packed with fiber and minerals that your aging body needs. So here's a question for you. Have you ever tried purple sweet potatoes? If so, how do you prepare them? Baked, roasted, mashed? And if you haven't, what's holding you back? I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. When we eat real, colorful foods, we're not just fueling our bodies, we're protecting our future. Dr. David Perlmutter, neurologist and author of Grain Brain. Still with me? Good, because next, we're about to talk about a vegetable that offers many of the same brain-boosting, blood flow-improving benefits as arugula, but with a sweeter taste and an even deeper history in natural medicine. Beets. If you've ever turned your nose up at beets, it might be time to take a second look. Let's dive in. Beets may not be the most glamorous vegetable on your plate, but for seniors over 60, they might be one of the most powerful. These deep red roots are packed with natural nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes blood vessels and boosts circulation. Just like arugula, beets help get more oxygen-rich blood flowing to your brain, heart, and extremities, especially important as we age and our blood vessels naturally stiffen. In a groundbreaking study at Wake Forest University, seniors who drank beet juice daily for just 2 weeks showed significantly increased blood flow to the frontal lobes of the brain, the region responsible for decision-making, memory, and focus. Some even performed cognitively like people decades younger. That's the power of nitric oxide. I remember a patient of mine, George Anderson, 76, a retired firefighter who came to me saying, "Doc, I feel like my brain's been in airplane mode lately." He wasn't suffering from dementia, just typical age-related slowdown. I had him add a small glass of beet juice or roasted beets to his meals several times a week. A month later, he was thrilled. My thoughts come faster now, and I'm even beating my grandson at chess again. But beets aren't just for the brain. They contain betalains, powerful antioxidants that support liver detoxification, a system that naturally weakens with age. Beets also provide betaine, a nutrient that helps reduce inflammation and supports cartilage repair, making them excellent for joint health. And don't toss out the beet greens. They're loaded with vitamin K, calcium, and magnesium, which are vital for bone and heart health. In fact, the greens are often more nutrient-dense than the root itself. If you're new to beets, start small. Try them roasted with olive oil, blended into smoothies, or shredded raw into a salad. They're sweeter than you'd expect, and with a little creativity, you'll look forward to them. So tell me, do you eat beets regularly? Have you noticed any changes in energy or memory when you do? Share your experience in the comments. Beets are nature's way of hitting the reset button on blood flow and brain clarity. Dr. Michael Greger, author of How Not to Die. Next, we'll explore a tiny sprout that outperforms its full-grown version by 100 times in antioxidant power. Broccoli sprouts. Stay with me. Don't underestimate the power of something small. Broccoli sprouts may look tiny, but they're one of the most potent anti-aging vegetables you can eat, especially after age 60. While mature broccoli is already a healthy choice, broccoli sprouts contain up to 100 times more sulforaphane, a powerful compound that activates your body's own antioxidant defense systems. Sulforaphane is particularly important for seniors because it stimulates the production of glutathione, your body's master antioxidant. As we age, our natural glutathione levels drop, leaving us more vulnerable to cellular damage, inflammation, and cognitive decline. But sulforaphane steps in to help clean up damaged proteins, reduce oxidative stress, and even protect against neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. A study in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that older adults who consumed sulforaphane-rich foods regularly showed significantly slower cognitive decline than those who didn't. It's no wonder scientists call it one of the most promising natural compounds for brain aging. I remember Ellen Matthews, a 69-year-old patient who had trouble with memory lapses and persistent joint inflammation. She didn't want more medication. We added broccoli sprouts to her morning routine, just a few tablespoons in a smoothie or salad, 4 times a week. 2 months later, she said, "I feel like I'm thinking clearer, and my knees aren't bothering me as much." I didn't expect something so small to make such a difference. What makes broccoli sprouts even more remarkable is that they block multiple inflammatory pathways in the body, working much like anti-inflammatory medications, but without side effects. For seniors with joint issues, autoimmune problems, or brain fog, they're a gentle, natural tool for daily relief. Here's a tip: you don't have to buy them at a store. You can grow broccoli sprouts at home in just 4 or 5 days with nothing more than a mason jar, some cheesecloth, and organic broccoli seeds. No green thumb required. So have you ever tried broccoli sprouts? Did you notice any changes in your energy, mood, or clarity? If not, are you open to giving them a try? Sulforaphane is like flipping the switch on your body's built-in detox system. Dr. Jed Fahey, Johns Hopkins University researcher and sulforaphane expert. Now that we've covered the top 5 vegetables that can slow aging and protect your brain, heart, and joints, it's time to flip the script. Let's talk about the vegetables that may actually speed up aging and what to do about it. Starting with one of the most common ones found on senior dinner plates, the white potato. Let's shift gears. While certain vegetables can protect your brain, joints, and heart as you age, others may silently accelerate the aging process, especially if you eat them often without realizing the impact. And the first one might surprise you because it's a comfort food staple on most senior dinner tables: white potatoes. Now, let's be clear, white potatoes aren't bad in all contexts. They're a natural food with fiber and some nutrients. But when it comes to aging, the way they affect your blood sugar makes a big difference. White potatoes have a very high glycemic index, meaning they can spike your blood sugar faster than table sugar. That spike triggers a process called glycation, where sugar molecules attach to proteins like collagen, damaging skin, blood vessels, and joints in the process. Worse, after the age of 60, our bodies clear these advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, about 50% slower. That means the damage lasts longer and compounds over time, showing up as wrinkles, stiff arteries, brain fog, and aching knees. I had a longtime patient, Frank Miller, age 72, who came to me with stubborn joint pain and low energy. He didn't have arthritis or any serious diagnosis, just general stiffness. After reviewing his food diary, we realized he was eating mashed potatoes or fries almost daily. We swapped in roasted sweet potatoes and greens instead. A few weeks later, Frank called and said, "Doc, I didn't realize how much those potatoes were dragging me down until I stopped. My knees feel looser, and I'm not crashing after dinner anymore." White potatoes also lack the fiber and antioxidants needed to offset their blood sugar effects, especially when peeled or mashed. And most people prepare them in ways that make things worse, baking until soft, frying, or turning them into creamy sides loaded with fat and salt. Even more concerning. Many white potatoes contain solanine, a natural compound found in the skin, particularly in potatoes with a greenish tint. Solanine can aggravate inflammation, especially in people with arthritis or joint conditions. And yet few doctors talk about it. So here's a question: how often do you eat white potatoes? Do you feel better or worse after meals that include them? Try replacing just a few servings with sweet potatoes or greens and observe the difference in your energy and joint health. High glycemic foods may age your body from the inside out faster than almost anything else you eat. Dr. David Ludwig, Harvard endocrinologist. Next up, we'll take a closer look at another vegetable that's often mislabeled as healthy, but may be quietly fueling inflammation and sugar spikes in your body. Corn. Let's talk about what makes this common vegetable so problematic for seniors. Let's have an honest talk about corn. I know it brings back memories: corn on the cob at summer barbecues, popcorn on movie nights, maybe a warm bowl of sweet corn chowder on a cold evening. For many of us, corn feels like comfort, but as we get older, especially past 60, comfort foods sometimes come with a cost we don't see right away. You see, corn isn't just a simple vegetable, it's a starchy grain. And most modern varieties, especially sweet corn, act more like sugar than anything else in the body. That means when we eat corn, particularly in processed forms, cornflakes, corn chips, tortillas, our blood sugar rises quickly. For aging bodies that are already less efficient at managing glucose, that's like pouring gasoline on a slow-burning fire. But the sugar impact is just part of the picture. One issue I rarely hear people talk about is how corn affects inflammation. Corn contains an unusually high amount of omega-6 fats compared to omega-3s. And when that balance tips too far, which it often does in the typical diet, it fuels low-grade inflammation throughout the body. Joints ache a little more, energy feels flat, brain fog creeps in. I had a patient, Mary, 67, who didn't eat fast food, didn't smoke, stayed active, but she couldn't shake her stiff knees and afternoon fatigue. Turns out, corn was hiding in nearly every meal. Corn chips, taco shells, breakfast cereal. We didn't remove it entirely, just cut it way back and focused on leafy greens, omega-3s, and fiber. A month later, her words stuck with me. I thought I was getting older. Turns out I was just inflamed. And one more thing, modern corn is one of the most genetically modified crops on the planet. Even if you're eating corn straight from the cob, if it's not organic, chances are it's been treated with multiple rounds of herbicides and pesticides. These chemicals build up over time, and our aging livers don't detox as easily as they used to. Now, I'm not saying you need to swear off corn forever. Life's too short to be afraid of food. But maybe just take a moment to notice, after a meal with corn, how do your joints feel? Your energy, your digestion? Because sometimes the small things we do every day, a chip here, a bowl of corn soup there, add up in ways we don't expect. And once you start paying attention, your body will quietly tell you what it needs. Next up, we're going to talk about a tricky group of vegetables, the ones that are perfectly healthy for some people, but for others, especially with arthritis or autoimmune issues, they can make things worse without warning. Let's talk about nightshades. Let me tell you something I wish more doctors talked about. Not all healthy foods are healthy for everyone. Surprising, right? One of the best examples of this is a group of vegetables called nightshades, which includes tomatoes, eggplants, bell peppers, and white potatoes. Now, before you panic, no, these aren't bad vegetables. They're rich in vitamins, antioxidants, and flavor. But for a certain group of people, especially those over 60 dealing with joint pain, autoimmune issues, or digestive troubles, nightshades can quietly be making things worse. They contain compounds called alkaloids like solanine and capsaicin that in some people, especially as we age, can irritate the gut lining and promote inflammation. I'm not talking about allergies here, it's more subtle. The gut becomes more permeable with age, and that means things that used to be fine suddenly trigger problems: sore joints, morning stiffness, even brain fog or skin flares. I remember Bill, a 70-year-old former teacher who had been battling with what he thought was arthritis in his hands and knees for years. He'd tried every supplement and cream you could think of. Then, during a long conversation, he casually mentioned eating tomato soup almost daily, plus fried eggplant once or twice a week. I suggested he try removing all nightshades from his diet for 3 weeks. That was it. No other changes, just to see. 3 weeks later, he came back and said, "I don't know what kind of magic this is, but I woke up 2 days ago without knee pain for the first time in 5 years." Of course, this doesn't happen for everyone. Not everyone is sensitive to nightshades, and if you're not, there's no need to cut them out. Tomatoes, in particular, are rich in lycopene, which supports heart and prostate health. But if you're someone who's tried everything for your chronic inflammation and nothing seems to help, nightshades might be the missing piece of the puzzle. A good way to test: try a simple 3-week elimination. Cut out all nightshades, including ketchup, marinara sauce, salsa, and even white potatoes, and track how you feel. If you feel a difference, that's your body speaking. You can always reintroduce them one by one to see what affects you. One man's superfood is another man's trigger. Dr. Amy Myers, autoimmune specialist. Have you ever noticed more joint pain after a pasta dinner or a bowl of chili? Have tomatoes or peppers ever made you feel bloated, tired, or achy the next morning? You're not imagining it. Up next, we're going to talk about a group of vegetables that often carry a health halo, but when eaten raw and in excess, can disrupt your thyroid and upset your gut. Let's take a closer look at raw cruciferous vegetables. We've all heard it, eat more greens. And it's true, cruciferous vegetables like kale, broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower are nutritional powerhouses. But here's the catch most people don't talk about, especially when it comes to seniors. Eating them raw all the time may not be doing your body any favors. These veggies contain natural compounds called goitrogens, which can interfere with how your thyroid gland functions, particularly in people who already have borderline thyroid issues, which is common after age 60. The thyroid is like your body's thermostat, controlling energy, metabolism, mood, and even memory. And when it slows down, everything does. I once worked with a woman named Susan, 66 years old, a healthy eater, who loved her raw kale smoothies. She was proud of how much green she was getting every day, but she also felt tired all the time, had gained weight without changing anything, and couldn't shake a persistent brain fog. Her thyroid labs weren't low enough to trigger medication, but something wasn't right. We scaled back the raw kale, lightly steamed her greens instead, added some iodine-rich foods, and within a month she came back smiling. I have energy again. I'd forgotten what that felt like. It's not just about the thyroid either. Raw cruciferous vegetables are tough on digestion. As we age, stomach acid production drops by up to 40%, making it harder to break down complex fibers. That can lead to gas, bloating, and nutrient malabsorption. You think you're doing the right thing by eating all these raw veggies, but your body might be struggling to keep up. A better approach: steam them gently or do a light sauté with olive oil and garlic. Not only does that make them easier to digest, but it also unlocks more of their cancer-fighting compounds like sulforaphane. Cooking doesn't ruin their benefits, it helps your aging body access them more easily. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying raw veggies are bad, but too much of a good thing in the wrong form can backfire, especially as your body's needs change with time. Let me ask, do you notice bloating or sluggishness after a raw salad? Have you ever felt off after a green smoothie packed with kale or cabbage? Your gut might be telling you something worth listening to. As we age, digestion becomes an art of gentle support, not raw force. Dr. Frank Lipman, integrative physician. In the next part, we'll look at something even more surprising. Leafy greens that carry the label of health, but when conventionally grown and sprayed with pesticides, they may be stressing your liver and hormones more than helping. Let's talk about non-organic leafy greens. It might come as a surprise, but even the healthiest looking foods can carry hidden risks, especially when they're grown in ways that don't respect your body's changing needs. Take leafy greens, for example: spinach, kale, romaine lettuce. We often call them superfoods, and in many ways they are. But when they're grown conventionally, meaning not organic, they can also become a source of silent harm, particularly for older adults. You see, these delicate greens are among the most pesticide-contaminated crops in the grocery store. The Environmental Working Group, EWG, consistently lists spinach and kale in the top 5 of their dirty dozen, the fruits and vegetables with the highest pesticide residues. Now, for a young, healthy person, your liver and kidneys can usually detox these chemicals pretty efficiently. But after 60, your body's ability to eliminate toxins slows down. Your liver works harder, your kidneys filter less effectively, and if you're taking daily medications, which many seniors are, those detox pathways are already under pressure. The result: toxins linger longer, accumulate in fat and tissues, and begin to subtly interfere with hormones, brain function, and immune health. I remember one patient, Barbara, age 73, who had made the switch to healthy eating, lots of salads, green smoothies, and daily kale. But she also complained of strange symptoms: headaches, dry skin, and low mood. Nothing extreme, just a feeling off. We dug deeper and realized all her greens came from conventional sources, many not even washed properly. We switched her to organic produce, and within 2 weeks she noticed a difference. It's like someone turned the volume down on all the little discomforts, she said. And here's another layer: many pesticides are endocrine disruptors. That means they can mess with your hormones, something you don't want in your 60s and beyond, when your hormone systems are already more sensitive. Some have even been linked to increased risk of neurodegenerative conditions like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. So what's the solution? It's not about giving up leafy greens, they're still essential, but do your best to choose organic when possible, especially for spinach, kale, arugula, and mixed greens. If organic isn't an option, wash them thoroughly using a produce wash or a DIY mix of baking soda and water. Let me ask you this: do you know where your greens come from? Have you ever compared how you feel after eating organic vs conventional vegetables? Sometimes, it's not just the food, it's how it's grown. You are not just what you eat. You are what your food was grown in, sprayed with, and stored in. Dr. Mark Hyman. Now that we've talked about what not to eat too often, let's circle back to what you can do today. Simple steps to build a plate that supports longevity, joint comfort, brain clarity, and energy you can feel. Let's bring it all together. So there you have it. Today, we uncovered one powerful vegetable that could help extend your life by a decade or more, and we took a closer look at 5 others that might be quietly working against your health, especially as you age. Here's what I hope you take away from this: your body changes, and your food should evolve with it. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness and making small, smart choices that support the way your body works now, not how it worked at 30. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight, but maybe you start by adding a little arugula to your salad, or choosing organic leafy greens when you can. Maybe you pay closer attention to how your body feels after eating certain veggies. That's how real change begins, with small steps and mindful choices. Aging well isn't about chasing youth. It's about feeling strong, clear, and energized for the life you're living today. If you found value in this video, go ahead and hit that like button, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Senior Wisdom Life so you don't miss future episodes packed with practical, science-based tips just like this. And I'd love to hear from you. Have you noticed a difference when switching to organic vegetables or cutting back on certain ones? Drop your experience in the comments. Let's learn from each other. Thanks for spending this time with me. Take care of your plate and it'll take care of you. See you in the next video.